Hello friends, welcome to Perfect Study channel. So we are continuing with percentage videos. These are of CAT previous year questions, and here we have taken the questions of the year 2000 to 2003. And if you are a first time visitor to this channel, kindly subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can receive all the latest notifications. So let's begin. The first question: the table below shows the age-wise distribution of the population of Reposia. The number of people aged below 30 years, 35 years is 400 million. Now there is a table here. The age groups are given below 15, 15 to 24 and so on. And the percentage breakup is also given. And obviously the total percentage has to be 100%. If the ratio of females to males in the below 15 years age group is 0.96, what is the number of females in millions in that age group? So we are talking about below 15 years age group, this particular age group, below 15 years. And we need the data in number. The number is also given here, that is below 35 years, that is 400 million. Now this part is tricky here. This 400 million is not the total data. This 400 million is only till below 35 years. That means from here to here. This is below 35. Now, what is this total of below 35? This total will be 64.75, which means 64.75% represents 400 million. So the first thing that I need is, what does this 30% represent? This 30%, because my question is about below 15 years age group. So what will this 30% represent? 400 multiplied by 30 divided by 64.75. So this gives me my total of the 30%, this below 15 years age group. Now within this below 15 years age group, the ratio of female to male is 0.96. This is also tricky. Some students may be tempted to do it as if it is 96%. No, it is not 96%. It is the 96% of male. That means if female is, I'm just showing you here, if female is 0.96, male is 1. That means your total is 1.96. So this is actually 0.96 divided by 1.96. Now the problem is with the calculation. So let's see what we can do here. I'll just quickly erase this part so that I'll get space here for writing. So let me take it up here. Now what I'll do is, this 64.75, I'll make it 65 without changing the numerator. So the final answer will need some adjustment. This part, it is roughly equal to half, slightly less than half. So we'll do that adjustment at the end. This will give me 200. This will give me 6, and this gives me 13. So this is 1200 divided by 13. That will give me around 90.2. Now what is the adjustment that I need? If you notice this denominator here, 64.75, I made it 65. Always remember, whenever we are doing any calculation in the division, if we are changing only the denominator, it can have a huge impact on your answer depending on what is your numerator. Here we have some huge values in the numerator, so it will have some impact in my calculation. Now how to adjust this particular thing? In 64.75, what I have added is actually 0.25. Now what is this 0.25 as a percentage of this? 1% is around 0.64. You just have to focus here. 1% is 0.64 and I need 0.25. That is roughly around half a percent. So I have increased my numerator by around 0.5%, but I have not done that in numerator. So I will do that in my final answer. 1% will be around 0.9, and half of 0.9 will give me something around, say, like 0.5. 1% is 0.9, so I need half percent. Half of 0.9 will give me 0.5. My answer will be 90.7. The closest answer will be 90.8 million. Okay. Next. The owner of an art shop conducts his business in the following manner. Every once in a while, he raises his prices by X%. Then a while later, he reduces all the new prices by X%. After one such up-down cycle, the price of a painting decreased by rupees 441. After a second up-down cycle, the painting was sold for rupees 1944.81. What was the original price? Okay. Now here, we know that when any value increases by X% and then it again if it decreases by X%, we know that the answer is not 0. The actual answer is it results in a decrease of X square by 100%. This is the decrease, correct? Now here what is happening, there is an original price, some price is there, we don't know that, actually that is what we are supposed to find out, and this increase and decrease happens 2 times. These are called cycles. So in my cycle 1 there will be some decrease and that will give me some value here. On the new value I have to again apply cycle 2, that will give me some value, and finally there will be a final value. So I'll just map whatever data is given. My final price of the painting is 1944.81. After one cycle the price decreases by 441. This is the impact of first cycle. So the first cycle decrease is 441. Now the problem is, if we get into actual calculations, it will become very lengthy. So we have to adopt some smart approach. Now first thing we notice is that the options are not close here, and when the calculations are really complex, definitely options are not going to be close. CAT is not a calculation exam. It tests your logic, not your calculations. Now if the decrease in C1 is 441, the base will be less compared to original price. The original value will decline and the second cycle calculation will be done on the new value, this value. So I'm just pointing out, this value will reduce and this second decline, it will be calculated on this value. So obviously we understand it will be something little less than 441. I mean, it can't become something like 1, 2, 3, 50, 100, not like that, slightly less. So let me assume something like this. Now if I want my original price, I am simply supposed to add back these two values. These two values give me 841. If I add that 841, 1944.81, if you just add 841, you will get your approximate value. I am getting 2785.81, which I know definitely is not the exact answer, but it is very close to an option here, that is option number A. This is 2200, nowhere close. 2500 is nowhere close. 2000 is also nowhere close. So with this a kind of an approach, we have to get our answer. Now in case you are curious that how can I get the original thing, one approach is like this. If I assume that my original price, let's say my original price is P, what will be the price after first cycle? It will be P minus 441. Now the ratio of the original price and the price after first cycle will be equal to the price after first cycle and price after second cycle, which is 1944.81. This ratio will be applicable. Obviously in exam we are not supposed to solve this. It will be a humongous task in solving this kind of a quadratic equation. So adopt this smart approach and get your answer, right? So this is our answer, approximate answer. We got option number A. So let's move ahead. Now this is a data sufficiency question. So as I have been doing earlier, I will quickly write down your options here. If option A is 1 alone gives the answer, option B is 2 alone gives the answer, option C is both give answer, or option C together, it is not individually, and option D both don't give. Okay, now let's see. Two friends Ram and Gopal bought apples from a wholesale dealer. how many apples did they buy? Very simple question. Statement 1, Ram bought 1/2 the number of apples that Gopal bought. So Ram's number of apples is Gopal's apples divided by 2. So what? We don't know Gopal's value. How can we get Ram's value? And if we know both the values, there is no question of getting the total. So 1 does not give me answer. Second, the wholesale dealer had a stock of 500 apples. So total apples is equal to 500. Now please do not connect this data with this immediately. I have explained that in my previous video also. That is the default tendency. Don't do that. When you are checking second statement, forget the first statement. The wholesaler had a stock of 500 apples, but the question is how many apples did they buy, not how many apples were stocked. They buy. So we can't get it. Second also does not give answer. Now let's combine it. If total apples is 100 and Ram bought half of Gopal, how is that possible to calculate? Just because total apples is 100 does not mean that Ram and Gopal were the only buyers. There might have been other buyers. So I cannot get Ram. Why? Because I don't know Gopal. And I cannot assume that these two were the only buyers. If that kind of a point would have been mentioned, then okay, by splitting up 500 we could have got something, or obviously 500 would have been the answer directly only. There was nothing to do here. So both combined together also will not give me the answer. Next one. Mayank, Mirza, Little and Jaspal bought a motorbike for $60. Mayank paid 1/2 of the sum of the amounts paid by other boys. Mirza paid 1/3 of the sum of the amounts paid by other boys. Little paid 1/4 of the sum of the amounts paid by the other boys. How much did Jaspal have to pay? So we have these 4 people, Mayank, Mirza, Little and Jaspal. And total price of the motorbike is 60. So total is equal to $60. Mayank paid 1/2 of what? Half of the sum of amount paid by other boys. That means Mayank's value is half of this value. So if in ratio, if I write here, like for example, this is 1 and their total is 2, because Mayank is 1/2, half of this total, and the total is 60. So how do you split it up? In the ratio 1:2. That means obviously Mayank's value must be $20, and this total, it must be how much? It must be $40. So we got one split up here. So we got Mayank's value. Now let's move ahead. Mirza paid 1/3 of the sum of amount paid by other boys. So going by the similar logic, I am not writing here, it will become little clumsy. Mirza's value is 1/3 of Mayank, Little and total Jaspal. Now 1/3 means the ratio will be 1:3. So Mirza will be actually, see, I am writing here, if Mirza and others is equal to 1:3, Mirza and total will be actually 1:4, because the ratio total is 4. So Mirza is 1/4 of total, that is equal to 15. So Mirza is $15. We got Mirza also. Now let's come to Little. Little paid 1/4 of the sum of amount paid by others. Now going by same logic, if Little and others is equal to 1/4, then Little and total should be 1:5. These are basic concepts that we should know, and you can do it mentally. For explanation I am writing here. So if Little is 1/5 of total, Little will be how much? $12. This 40 is applicable to the total. So out of 40, Mirza is 15, Little is 12. That makes up total 27. So Jaspal will be how much? 40 minus 27. Jaspal should pay $13. So how much did Jaspal pay? Option number B, $13. I hope this is clear. Last question. At the end of year 1998, Shepherd bought 9 dozen goats. Henceforth, every year he added P% of the goats at the beginning of the year and sold Q% of the goats at the end of the year, where P is greater than 0 and Q is greater than 0, which means both are positive values. If Shepherd had 9 dozen goats at the end of the year 2002, after making the sales for that year, which of the following is true? Okay, this is a very conceptual question which has been presented in some complex fashion using P, Q greater than 0, just so that the question looks little complex, but it's a very simple thing here. Let me explain in two ways. One is by concept and one is by taking some value, assuming some value. Now if I start with any value, let's say X. Now this is my beginning. There is no need of this 9 dozen and all. He added P% of the goats at the beginning of year. Some P% he has added. When you add something, this value, new value, what it will be? It will be greater than X, right? And now you are subtracting Q%. If you are subtracting Q% of X, and if you assume that P is equal to Q, just assume if P is equal to Q, that means you are subtracting the same percent of X. What you subtract here, this value will be greater than this one. This point, please try to understand this. If you assume that P and Q both percentages are equal, this value will be greater than this. Why? Because its base is higher. This value was calculated on a base of X, and this second one is calculated on greater than X. So this will be more. And if this will be more, the value that you get here will not be same as X. Now let me explain that with a simple example here. Let me start a value 100. Suppose I add 10%, I get here 10. What I write here is 110. If you subtract 10%, what will you subtract? 11, right? Minus, and this is plus. So what do you get here? You get 99. Is it same as 100? No, it is not same. It cannot be same, because this 10% is on a higher base 110, whereas this 10% was on a lower base 100. So how can it be same? Now if I want to make it same, now I'll write another, again I'll write it here 100. I am adding 10%, 10, making it 110, and I want to go back to 100. Then what should I subtract? 10. This 10 out of 110 is how much? This is equal to 9.09%. Means your second percentage should be less than the first percentage. Now coming back to the concept here, if you see it conceptually, if the base has increased and I want the same final value X, then this percentage Q should be less than P. Going by this logic, just like here in the second case we got 9.09%, which should be less than 10%. Because the base has increased, if I subtract the same percentage, the decrease will also be more. So but whatever I have increased here, I want to decrease the same value. How is that possible with the same percentage on a higher base? So if the base has increased, your percentage should decrease, which means P should be greater than Q, or you can write Q greater than P and choose your option accordingly. Now here it is P greater than Q. That is option number C. Okay, so friends, I hope these questions are clear to you. And if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, click on the like button, share it with your friends as much as possible, give your feedback in the comment section, and we will meet again in the next video. That will probably be the last one for the percentage topic. Thanks a lot.